All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. If you're giving us a buzz at 257-5396, sit tight. We're going to do, next segment, we're going to do a bunch of phone calls. I promise we want to hear from you. This show is about you. We want to hear your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree, so long as you're ready to go and you can make your points. That's all we ask. So, as you know, Sean Hannity has been around for a long time, does a TV show on Fox News. Obviously, he does a radio show on KDWN as well. And I've actually met Sean Hannity before. I met him at the Democratic National Convention in Boston many years ago. He treated me with kindness and respect, and I appreciated that. He seemed like a really nice guy, even though I disagree with almost everything that he does on the air anyway. But this was his TV show last night. And, last night he's saying that Democrats and the media are helping this coronavirus. That's basically what he was saying. Have a listen to this.
We are the United States, home of the brave. We're the land of the free, home of the brave. That's us. We're already rising to the occasion. Now, will everything be perfect? No, absolutely not. But the entire country, with the exception of the usual suspects in the media mob, and of course, do-nothing, psychotic, hate Trump Democrats, the rest of the country, it's all hands on deck.
So echoing that same sentiment is Marco Rubio, or as Donald Trump used to call him, Little Marco, who I think is a two-faced idiot. Marco Rubio tweeted this out. He said, some in our media can't contain their glee and delight in reporting that the U.S. has more coronavirus cases than China. Beyond being grotesque, it's bad journalism.
I agree.
We have no idea how many cases China really has, but without any doubt, it's significantly more than why they admit to. Okay, so here's the issue with that.
Did you see what Boris Johnson in the UK said about China?
No, I didn't.
They are completely first of all, he has the coronavirus, just like Chris Cuomo does, but they are completely disgusted with the way that China has handled it. They think that they gave the country, they cost the country 3 to 4 weeks with the way that they reported everything. And the estimation is that China might have 40 times the cases than it's actually reported,
right.
Which means there's 3.2 million cases that actually happened in China as well. It's about 42,000 deaths.
I get it, but that's not why we're playing this audio. We're playing this audio because Hannity is blaming Democrats in the media, saying that they want to, don't want this coronavirus to end, basically. Then you have Little Marco Rubio, as Donald Trump called him, that's saying that Democrats and some members of the media are glee and delight. Here's my problem with that statement. First of all, I don't think it's true. Are there a few morons out there? Yeah, I'm sure. But name me one prominent, Democrat, either a politician or a member of the media, that has glee and delight in reporting U.S. coronavirus deaths and cases. You can't make a statement like that unless you give some names. Give me one prominent person that is happy that people in this country are dying from the coronavirus.
Well, Nancy Pelosi has mentioned that Donald Trump is responsible
That
for a lot
doesn't
of
mean
lives.
that she's happy that people are dying.
Based on the comments that were made by a lot of these Democrats.
Who?
Like Nancy Pelosi, like
so
Joe
that
Biden,
one statement?
No, several statements that were made before this.
What statement would make you think that?
Before this was a big deal, Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden made statements like,
what?
It's xenophobic to shut down the border. We're costing 350 million people that visit the United States every single year the chance to come to the United States. It's somewhat racist to shut down the border when he did what he did, Brian. And a lot of reporters right now, like for example, even Twitter, Laura Ingraham had a person on her show. And he was from Michigan. His name was Jim Santilli, and he took that HCG, that hydroxychloroquine plus azithromycin, and it saved his life. And she had him on a show, and she tweeted that she tweeted his positive results. Twitter took that down. Several of prominent Democrats are taking a potential cure, or not a cure, but a potential treatment, and they're totally debunking it. They're saying that it's not legitimate, because if there is legitimate treatment, this thing is
that's a different conversation.
No, it's not. It's that much closer to being over.
Completely different.
I'm saying a lot of Democrats are not taking these treatments, and they're not marketing. They're not properly marketing these treatments to make it look like this virus has a chance of being over with.
Again,
no, it's not. I
got to take a break.
It's the exact same conversation, Brian.
No, it's not, because what Marco Rubio is saying and what Hannity is saying is that Democrats are glee and delight in reporting U.S. deaths on coronavirus. That is completely different than Joe Biden calling it xenophobia. Now, you can disagree with Joe Biden. In a way, I disagree with Joe Biden, but I would never, on this show say that Joe Biden is happy to report new cases of the coronavirus. That is reckless. It is inappropriate. And by the way, it's not factually accurate. Those are different subjects that you're talking about. We got to take a break. We'll continue this conversation on the other side. What do you think out there? Do you agree with JD? Do you agree with me? 702-257-5396. Again, that number, 257-5396. Take a quick break. We will be back right after this with your phone calls. This is the Vegas Take. All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. As we mentioned, this show is about you. We want to hear from you, especially during these difficult times more than ever. We've always been a very interactive show. Speaking of interactive, you can also check us out live. We're always live on YouTube. Check us out on the Vegas Take page. Of course, our great website is thevegastake.com. We're on every single social media platform, so check us out. We're taking your phone calls, as I mentioned. Before we get to your calls, though, there are some people out there, this might be a shocker to you, some conspiracy theorists out there. As you might know, I'm not the biggest fans of Diamond and Silk. I think their combined IQ.
I think I picked up on that.
Yeah, their combined IQ is not my age. Let's put it that way. And I'm not that old either, by the way. I'm not even 40 yet. But Diamond and Silk, they're spreading dangerous conspiracy theories. And now they're saying that the death toll of the coronavirus is inflated, with no evidence to back it up. But just have a listen to these dummies. This is Diamond and Silk in their own words.
In a matter of 2 weeks, over 1,000 people supposedly died from the coronavirus. In a 2 weeks time period, over 1,000 people, after being tested positive, have died from the coronavirus. But it took 39 days from January all the way up to February the 29th, I believe. That's
for
Saturday.
the first person.
For the first person to die. Here's another thing.
Come on.
Here's another thing.
Come on.
My president said on March the 24th, Tuesday, this past week, my president said that he would love for America to be back up and running.
I knew this was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I knew
He said
after
that.
he said this,
Wait.
this was
She
going
knew,
to happen.
she
Go
knew.
ahead.
At the time he said it, there was 25,489 cases with 307 deaths. Instantaneously, you had the media calling President Trump out. He wanted open by Easter. He want this open by Easter. Me and you were talking. I said, now watch the numbers of deaths go up.
Right.
Watch everything increase because they wanted to make it look bad.
That's
In
right.
front
I've
of
had
our
enough.
eyes.
I've had enough. Get these idiots off the air. I can't take anymore. By the way, it's not Easter. It's Easter.
I do
Okay?
appreciate the gospel church element, though.
Yeah, it's great.
The way that they
I
handle
want to talk
themselves.
about two dummies, okay? Just two complete idiots, all right? First of all, the fact that Donald Trump invites these two idiots into the White House speaks volumes about him. It doesn't matter how ignorant you are. It doesn't matter how stupid you are, how irrelevant you are. If you praise the President of the United States, he will invite you in the White House. It is unbelievable. You know what I want? I want a conversation about God between Mike Lindell and those two. That'd be a great conversation. I would listen to that, actually. I would. Listen, it is very dangerous to spread conspiracy theories with no facts to back it up, especially in this time. And when they say that deaths are being inflated, and when they say things like that with no evidence to back it up, it shows their stupidity. It's one thing to be a conspiracy theorist. It's another thing to be Diamond and Silk.
Well, I will say this. If you look at New York's death total, it has gone through the absolute roof. And the death total in the United States, despite the fact that it was pretty steady for a while after the Diamond Princess docked and a lot of these passengers got off and went to their respective states, the cases started spreading. I've heard from a couple of different sources that it is possible that in New York State right now, anyone who is dying is being chalked up to a COVID-19 death. Hopefully that is not the case, but I have heard that from a couple of different sources.
Okay, well, I'll go with the sources of the people, the doctors, the nurses, and the people that write the death certificates. I'm going to go with those sources.
What about CBS, where they're actually they took footage from the worst hospital in the hardest hit part of Italy, and they applied it to New York last week.
That doesn't mean
they apologized
they have nothing
for it.
to do.
They apologized for it, but something like that,
Okay.
you do that to incite fear,
Okay,
Brian. You don't just do that on accident.
So-
and if things like that are taking place, then it's possible
Okay.
other things are taking place.
Okay, well, other things taking place and saying that the deaths are not factually accurate and they're being inflated to hurt Donald Trump are two completely different things. So Campaign is our YouTube cameraman specialist here, and he wanted to chime in on this conversation. Go ahead, Campaign.
Yes, I just want to say, as the black delegation, we're going to be trading those two for Joe Walsh. I'm just letting you know that. We'll be putting in that trade.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think Joe Walsh has a lot more intelligence than those two. I'll say that.
And it is Easter, right? Not Easter.
Oh, is it Easter? I
Yeah,
apologize.
it is Easter.
I apologize. Thank you, Campaign. All right, let's go back to the phone call. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Anthony. I believe, Anthony, you are next up on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Anthony?
Hey, guys, too funny with that. Them people there stole it from Frangela. But anyway, I think that I'm a Democrat, liberal, supporter of Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. Looking forward to Joe Biden taking apart Donald Trump if they debate, which I don't think is going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
I think there's a price for incompetence. We pay right now. America's paying the price for incompetence. I think that we're the best of the best at what we do because we have the best people. I think that we had an epidemiologist on the floor in Wuhan, China last year who reported back to this president what was going on and what was coming. He did not want to believe it. So here we are. He didn't accept it.
That's not even remotely true. The first case was December 6th. It was a guy who worked in the market. His wife got sick despite the fact that she wasn't there. Who didn't even recognize it as transmittable human to human until late January? Anthony Fauci, this doctor that everybody talks about, said it himself. This is under control. We have nothing to worry about. The cases were up to 15 by mid-February, and at that point, Trump said, this is probably gonna go away. He was obviously incorrect. But what was he supposed to do in the interim? Was he supposed to shut down the government based on 15 cases in the United States?
Let him answer that.
Was he supposed to shut down all the airports? I mean, there's so many things that
let him answer that
are happening right now that he couldn't just do. He couldn't
let him answer the question.
Institute these measures.
All right, let him answer the question.
At that point when there's only 15 cases.
Go ahead and answer that.
The president had a man on the ground. Again, we're the best because we have the best people. We don't depend on China to tell us anything. We are America. We are the best. We are world leaders for a reason. We had a man on the ground in Wuhan, China last year reporting back to us what was coming. We have to accept that information.
Well, there's no question.
The reason why, remember, guys, H1N1 was 60 million people. 12,000 died. Barack Obama had a man on the ground in Mexico in 2009, right? We got that under control by 2010.
Listen, you make some valid points. For the most part, I'm on your side. You know that. And JD, made some valid points there too. I think we need to meet somewhere in the middle, and that is this. And you can tell me if you agree or disagree. But the bottom line is this. People need to take responsibility. Am I putting it all on the President of the United States? No, I've never said that. However, with that being said...
You're putting a lot of it on the President of the United States.
He's the leader of the free world. So, of course, I'm going to put some responsibility on him.
Of the responsibility needs to be on China and the World Health Organization for not accurately...
For starting the virus,
for not accurately reporting what was not for starting the virus. We don't even know. We don't know if the virus was man-made. We don't know if it actually came from a penguin.
Right. We got to get to
in
more
a Wuhan
calls.
seafood market. We don't know where the virus actually came from. But what we do know is that for a month and a half after the first case was reported, the expectation of the virus was that it was not transmittable human to human.
There's no question that China is responsible.
And 2 months after that, there's almost 1 million cases in the world.
That's not,
so how is that Donald Trump's fault?
We've been over this a million times. I want to get to more phone calls. It's not up for debate what you're saying. The discussion isn't, China's is or isn't responsible for the starting of this. We know China's responsible.
Not just the start of the virus,
but the way
the actual reporting, the information that countries were getting about the virus and how deadly it was and how contagious it was.
But we're talking about the response. I think that's what that caller was saying, and I agree with him on many of his points that the president did not act accordingly.
And I'm saying he didn't have enough time based on the information he was given.
Well, a lot of Republicans say because he was being impeached, he couldn't make phone calls. 702-257-5396. Let's go to Carl. Carl, you're next up on the Vegas Take.
Hey, what's up, Carl?
Hello, gentlemen. Listen, I'm bringing this up again. I've brought it up many times. The man frightens me in the White House, and I'll tell you why. From a psychological aspect, his press conferences are ridiculous. He's textbook egomaniac. His egomania comes out terribly because people who praise him, he loves it. The others, he doesn't. And when he rails on people who ask him questions, that's textbook paranoia. He can't take it. A paranoid thinks that they're right all the time. That if anybody says one little thing bad about him, they're picking on him.
Well, Carl, you're definitely echoing what I say every day on the show. The man's a narcissist. It's all about him. Even when he's asked about his family, he makes it about him. And these press conferences, you're absolutely right. These press conferences should not be about the election in 2020. It shouldn't be like a campaign rally. People shouldn't be talking about 2016. It's very simple. So, Carl, you and I agree on that. And I think if you're somewhere in the middle, or you're not biased towards Donald Trump, you agree that he's a narcissist and he's an egomaniac.
And I'll tell you this, Brian, the press conferences, if you actually watch them, before the questions happen, it is about stopping the virus. It is about what measures are being taken. It is about what the expectations are for the spread of the virus. It is about the companies that are helping with the hospitals and giving updates on what's actually going on behalf of the United States government.
How long did the doctors speak yesterday?
No, Dr. Birx and Fauci
How long did they speak
and Pence, they all talk as well.
Pence didn't talk yesterday.
I'm saying everybody talks in these conferences.
Mike Lindell certainly did. He talked longer than the doctors yesterday.
That's fine, Brian.
That's fine.
There have been about 10 of these different updates. But the conversation about Trump being a narcissist and turning into a campaign rally, that happens when he gets these questions from the media attacking him. Yes, he does. In the middle of the actual press conference,
that's not true.
The 45 minutes that he talks.
Okay, let's go with that.
He does not turn that into an endorsement for
let's
himself.
talk about. First of all, he didn't talk for 45 minutes. I watched the entire press conference yesterday. He spoke about the virus for about 10 minutes, and then the CEOs spent more time talking about their companies than the president actually talking about the virus. Okay, that's number one. Number two, Mike Lindell spoke more than both doctors combined. Unacceptable. Number to call, 702-257-5396 is the number to call. And the president, even before asked questions by members of the press, was congratulating himself and his administration for an A-plus job. He does it every press conference about what a wonderful job he's doing.
Why is that a problem?
He shouldn't be praising himself.
Why is that a problem for saying, hey, we're doing a good job? This virus will be gone soon. This virus will be gone soon. We will beat this virus. What is wrong?
Or this virus will go away very soon?
No, what is wrong with having hope? It seems like you want no hope whatsoever.
No, that's not true.
No, it does.
Not true at all.
If it's on behalf of Donald Trump or anyone that supports Donald Trump at this point, regardless of our plight, we're literally living in plight right now. You hate Donald Trump so much that any hope that's instilled, I'm not wrong. You've made it very, very clear the last couple of weeks. Any hope that's instilled, any progress, any pat on the back that he makes for his team, based on what they've done.
We got to get to more phone calls.
Consider this precarious situation, you have an issue with.
All right,
that's abundantly clear.
We got to get to more phone calls, but let me tell you one thing. There's a very difference between the president giving hope and the president attacking people for asking him difficult questions and the president giving a platform.
Now you're totally changing the narrative.
You said hope.
No, I did say hope. And when the president says we're doing a great job, this will be gone soon, that is instilling hope into the American people, the majority of which right now are not even working.
Right.
They're not going to see
You're
this paycheck.
instilling a lot of hope.
They're not going to. No, it is. It really is because they want to know this will be done and they'll get back to their normal lives. That's what Americans want to hear.
Let's get to more phone calls, but I do agree with you on one thing. It certainly is instilling hope and confidence in the president when he says that there's 39 million people in Seoul, and I know more about South Korea than you do.
But totally irrelevant. That happened. That happened in the questions at the end, Brian.
Well, if it's not relevant, then why did he bring it up?
No, to this conversation, it's relevant. Why are you bringing up Seoul, Korea?
Why is he bringing up Seoul, Korea during the coronavirus?
Do you know what he did? Because of the testing, because he was asked about the testing.
And
she said that they test more than the United States
does. Per capita, they do. It's a fact, JD.
Per capita, our population is 12 times the size.
It doesn't matter. She's talking about per capita. Do you not understand what the definition of per capita is?
Brian, there's 38 million people in South Korea. He mixed those two up. There is about 9 in Seoul.
Right. But he brought it up, not me. And then he said he knows more about South Korea than the reporter, which clearly he doesn't.
And 60 million people. It is a completely different conversation and a completely different animal.
He shouldn't have brought it up, and he shouldn't have brought up the population.
She brought it up to him.
She brought up per capita as far as these ventilators go. He made it about him and said, "I know." Hold on.
Brought up testing, not ventilators.
Exactly. No, it was about the ventilators. And guess what? He's the one who said, "I know more about South Korea than you." He's the one who made it about himself. He's the one who had fact-checked. He was about 30 million off. Not me. 702-257-5396. Let's go to L. L, you're next on the Vegas Take.
Hey, what's up, L?
Good morning, guys. Good morning. It's for Diamond and Silk. Listen, Brian, as a black female, that was painful to listen to. Please don't do that to us, please. These people are disgusting. But they love Trump, and that's why they can get in the White House. But now, I'm compiling my list. I continue.
Hey, what are you doing for Easter? What are you doing for Easter?
Don't do that.
I'm sorry. I'll go ahead. I'm sorry. I can't help myself.
Okay,
I can't.
Let me get my thoughts. Those people are funny. But okay, now while I compile my list of our favorite people, Joe Walsh has jumped to the top of the list, and I think he's got some space to spare. He was fabulous, and you know what was even better about that? The way JD likes to interrupt. He had no comeback for anything. He didn't say one word while Mr. Walsh was lying out why this is a horrible individual.
Wait. The way I like to interrupt.
That's evidence.
So the way that we conduct interviews, me and Brian go back and forth and ask questions, and no, I was not trying to get into I was not trying to get into a political debate with Joe Walsh. Could I have? Absolutely. I chose not to. I asked questions that were somewhat slanted Republican, somewhat slanted, that gave Trump a bit of an out, but I did not choose to get into a debate with Joe Walsh. I could have. I chose not to.
Okay, and let me say this. While we do not have, they keep saying Biden can't get any traction. While it may be a good thing that we don't have him always on the air, what's even better is we have this fool every day saying all kinds of stupid, idiotic things. And so that alone will be enough to get him out of there. And I want to say one last thing. As for Hannity and Mark Levin, what they're doing, they're lining up to get their congressional medals of honor. There's a long list. JD, you're on the list. We don't have to worry about Brian. He'll never get one. But the list is long.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Guys, I enjoy the show. Have a good one.
Thank you,
thanks for the call. And I think you're completely wrong. Trump is going to trounce whoever he takes on in 2020. Probably it's going to be Joe Biden, and I think that Nevada will actually go red.
He definitely trounced to this coronavirus. Let's go to Dave. Dave, you're next on the Vegas Take.
What's up, Dave?
I'm sorry. Let's go to Rick. Rick, you're next.
What's up, Rick?
Rick, you're next on the Vegas Take. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, what's up, guys, man? This is, as an African-American, Republican, and conservative, it's a larger point in the African-American community about Trump with the last caller, because it's a civil war. Because there's people that like what the last caller said, I think she's completely off base with her rhetoric. Let me tell you something, man. Had you said, Brian, had a Republican said about Diamond and Silk what you said, you would be calling them. They'd be calling them racist. Okay,
and I'd call them idiots.
And that is a fact.
What did I say?
That is an absolute fact.
What did I say that was racist? I called them ignorant. Hold on a second. Let me defend myself, JD.
When you said Easter, like when you make fun of how.
Yeah, because they don't know how to talk.
What separates what you did to Diamond and Silk to what Rush Limbaugh did to the president of China?
I can't answer to both of you, one at a time. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Diamond and Silk did not know how to talk.
No, they don't.
It would be front page news that they was racist against the black women.
I believe you're right.
So let me explain to you the difference between someone from another country that has an accent and then somebody that is born in this country. Do you understand the difference there, sir? Do you understand that when you're born in this – hold on a second. Let me finish, because you just accused me of racism. When you're born – when you're born in this country – okay, and you're not born in another country, and you learn the English language, and you actually have a platform – you should probably learn to speak and put sentences together. The bottom line is it has nothing to do with their race, and it has everything to do with their ignorance, okay? They are two ignorant people.
Let me say this. I got family members in the South. They pronounce words differently than I do.
So they talk like Diamond and Silk?
It's just the part of the country.
So let me ask you a question then. Okay, fair enough. Let me ask you a question then. Your friends.
I got white friends from Boston.
So let me ask you a question then. Hold on a second. I get your point, sir. Let me ask you a question then. Your friends in the South, are they going on social media platforms, and are they saying that the death toll, the coronavirus death toll, is overblown and they're doing it to hurt Donald Trump? Are they making statements like that?
That's their opinion, Brian. I mean,
that's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you. Are your friends, any of your friends, making statements like that?
I don't know what. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. I don't know.
Okay, well, that's called ignorance.
Hey, Rick, don't worry about that, Brian. What you did to Diamond and Silk there is basically the exact same thing that Rush Limbaugh did to the president of China. What is the difference?
Kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Are you kidding me right now?
I'm not kidding you at all. You are mocking. You are mocking
that is
them.
Ridiculous.
No,
okay,
you are.
Hold on a second.
Just like Rush Limbaugh.
That is an idiotic thing that you
just said.
said.
For the way that he talks. You're mocking. You're mocking them. You're mocking them for speaking differently, Brian.
You made an idiotic accusation. So now I would like to defend myself without you talking for 20 seconds.
If Diamond and Silk,
that's ridiculous.
Were Democratic and they were supporting Joe Biden, and Rush Limbaugh called them out,
ridiculous,
or mocked them the way that you just mocked them.
Excuse me.
You would call out Rush Limbaugh for that.
Okay.
That is an absolute fact.
Okay. Can I defend myself without being interrupted for 20 seconds?
Of course.
Because I've never called you a racist before.
First of all,
I guess I can't talk. Go ahead.
I'm not calling you a racist. I'm not calling you a racist.
Go ahead. I'll put the mic down.
Brian, I'm not referring to you as a racist. I'm just saying what you did is the same thing Rush did. You are mocking someone.
Let me know when I can respond.
Did you really just slam the mic down?
Yes, because I'm pissed off.
You actually just slammed the mic down.
Let me know when I can talk without you interrupting me. Can I talk now?
First of all, you have to cinch your bathrobe. And second of all, I just did look them up. Diamond and Silk are from North Carolina.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe it is a Southern accent.
Okay. Well, JD's chopping
I'm sure it is.
I knew it. See, he won't let me talk. He calls me a racist, and then he won't let me talk.
I did not call you racist. Brian.
You want to talk about if I did that to him, he would have left already by now. He would be home by now.
No, I wouldn't be.
So let me know when I could. Am I allowed to defend myself now?
You are more than welcome to defend yourself.
Thank you for comparing me to Rush Limbaugh. Let me tell you something, my friend. Okay, Rush Limbaugh played audio on his show called Barack the Magic Negro. Okay, Rush Limbaugh made fun of Michael J. Fox for having Parkinson's. Okay, Rush Limbaugh is the guy that was fired from ESPN Radio for making racist comments. Rush Limbaugh is the guy that has made homophobic comments for years. Also recently, by the way, and Rush Limbaugh is the guy that Donald Trump gave. Hold on, let me finish. I'm not done yet. He's the guy who gave the Medal of Freedom, okay, to this man, Rush Limbaugh, who's a disgusting human being. Let me finish. I'm not done yet. Let me explain to you the difference between what I did and what he did about the president of China, okay? He was making fun of somebody's accent who speaks another language, who was born in another country, okay? These two were born in North Carolina. Now, if you have an accent, that's fine. If you just have an accent or you don't speak the way I speak, I'm not going to necessarily call you ignorant. Here's why I call them ignorant, and I'm just adding the fact of the way they speak. Because they make idiotic, ignorant comments every single day. They say things that are not factual. And let me tell you something. If somebody in my family died, how would you like it if somebody in your, God forbid, somebody in your family dies of the coronavirus, and then you have these two numbskulls that go on social media and say, well, they're just upping up the death toll because it's helping Donald Trump. To even compare me to that scumbag, Rush Limbaugh, is probably the most insulting thing you've ever said to me on this show. That buffoon, okay, is absurd.
Right.
And
to
compare him,
not the most insulting thing
to him, to compare me to him going after the Chinese president, their accent, to me calling Diamond and Silk ignorant is ridiculous, and you are wrong.
You're not calling them ignorant. You're mocking them, Brian. There's a giant difference.
You're damn right I'm mocking them for being stupid.
So let's say that Rush Limbaugh, let's say Diamond and Silk supported Joe Biden, and they did this exact same thing for Joe Biden, and Rush Limbaugh mocked them. You would call him a racist?
Absolutely not.
Yes, you would.
Absolutely not.
Yes, you absolutely would.
You know why I call Rush Limbaugh a racist? I'll tell you why. Because he played a song called Barack the Magic Negro, because he was fired from ESPN for attacking quarterbacks because they're black. That's why I go after Rush Limbaugh and call him a racist. So don't you put words in my mouth.
You wouldn't go after Rush Limbaugh for attacking Diamond and Silk.
I just answered your question.
I think based on how many times you've gone after different people.
Here's the thing that you don't understand.
I think you would go after Rush Limbaugh.
Here's the thing that you don't understand.
Under those circumstances.
Here's the thing that you don't. Here's the thing that you don't understand. Rush Limbaugh has a history of making racist comments. I don't. I'm not a racist. I don't have a history of making racist comments. When somebody who's never said anything racist in their life attacks two black women for being stupid, who has never said anything, hold on, let me finish, has never said anything racist in their life, and Rush Limbaugh, a guy who has a history of being racist and saying racist things, do you not understand the difference there?
Of course I understand the difference, Brian, but you are mocking them for speaking in Ebonics. My
robe is coming off. I'm
Brian,
so pissed off at you.
Which by default is technically a little racist.
Okay, well, if you want to continue to call me a racist for that, it's absurd and it's ridiculous. It's probably one of the most ridiculous things. You've said some ridiculous things on this show. That is absolutely the most ridiculous thing you've
you've said completely reasonable things every single day.
I haven't called you a racist.
And to the point where when someone calls in and says that I'm reasonable, you take offense to it as
no,
as an
once
insult
again,
to you.
you're not representing the facts.
But I'm the one that says ridiculous things all the time.
Once again, you're misrepresenting the facts. The person who called in yesterday and said you were reasonable didn't say that. What he said was you're the only reasonable person on the show. So once again, you don't get your facts right.
Which was a compliment to me.
And a put down to me.
No, but
don't misrepresent the facts like you are right now, like you do
as
every single day. You misrepresent the facts.
I misrepresent the facts.
You're calling me a racist. You're calling me a racist.
No, I'm saying Rush Limbaugh. If Rush Limbaugh did what you did, you would have called him a racist. You would have referred him as a racist.
Okay, and I disagree with you.
And mocking someone,
you don't put words in my mouth.
For speaking any Ebonics because of where they're from,
you don't
and
put
they
words
happen
in
to be
my
African American, can certainly be perceived as racist. I think that based on what we said about Rush Limbaugh, that if Rush Limbaugh did that, you would have called him a racist.
Well, you could make all the assumptions you want, but you're wrong because I know the way I would react and you don't. And the bottom line is these two women are ignorant. It has nothing to do with their race. Zero. They're dumb. They're ignorant. They have a huge platform. They don't know how to speak proper English, and that has nothing to do with race and everything to do with they're just dumb based on their history, based on the things they've said in the past. If they spoke that way, but they didn't put out misinformation all the time, and they didn't say things that were not factual, then maybe I wouldn't call them ignorant. Listen, I think LeBron James is a pretty smart guy. He doesn't always speak proper English. I think LeBron's a smart. It's got nothing to do with his politics. I don't think LeBron James is an ignorant guy. I think he's a very smart guy. He grew up in the hood. We got to take a break. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. And I know we have a lot of people on hold. I promise you I will get to all your phone calls on the other side. That was a heated debate. We want to know what you think. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. I promise you we'll get to all your phone calls on the other side of the break. Again, 702-257-5396. Take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to The Vegas Take.